Amigos, welcome one, welcome all. It's time for another exciting edition of The Show with No Name on Vaughn Radio. So get ready for liftoff. 10, 9, 8, come on, 7, countdown 6, with me, folks. 5, 4, 3, 2, come on. 1, 0. Are you psyched? Ignition. I am. Liftoff. Let's go. Get on up. As James Brown said, get up, get on up, get down like a sex machine. Here we go. Get ready. Hold on to your hat. Strap on your seatbelt. Fasten your seatbelts. Hold on to your hat. And get ready for the ride of your life. The show with no come on. Hell yeah. Let's fucking do this. Let's go. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Welcome to the show with no name. Here on Vaughn Radio, where English is exciting. Oh yeah, get ready to have some fun, to learn, and to be in stitches. Well, what does that mean? To be in stitches, pues que te han puesto puntos. But also, to be in stitches means to crack up. Partirse de la risa, you say. And all that while we learn English. Remember, you've got tons of other amazing programs here on Vaughn Radio as well. You can learn English with all my friends. You can learn English with Rob Grams and the Probo Show. Great way to start your day with a little bit of oomph. Energia. You got a master class with my buddy Fitz right before the show. The best way to warm up in his program, No Excuses. And you've got all of these programs on the Vaughn Radio app, or you can find them wherever you get your podcasts. That is Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and iVox. And don't forget, we've got an exclusive podcast right now, an English course / podcast on iVox called Baugan Inglés 4.0. So check it out. Échale un vistazo. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to kick things off with our first challenge of today. It's the Say What soundbite. Yes. Say what? Yes. What? All right, folks, welcome to your Say What soundbite. Also, a nice round of applause for everybody who has participated in our weekly speaking section called Question of the Week. That's Nudia, that's Chris Valrol, that's Anix, that's Tudani. And I'm sure I'm leaving some people out because I've got quite a few participations. Quite a few, no es pocos, aunque suena así. If I say a few, entonces sí. But I said quite a few, which means a lot, bastantes. And we'll be hearing from you as we do every Friday. If you'd like to participate, you still have a little time left. And I want you to tell us about your first job. That's right, your first 9 to 5. It's another way of saying a job. Working 9 to 5, ain't no way to make a living if you lose your mind. And no taking and no giving. What a great movie. What a great song. With Dolly Parton, Lily Tomlin. Oh, man. I remember watching that movie and thinking, that it's just brilliant. Have you seen it? They poison the boss. And, well, I won't tell you too much, although it's a movie from like 3 decades ago or more. Not 4 decades ago. So there should be a rule. No spoilers on movies that are like over a decade old. If you haven't seen it, I'll just assume you're not going to. Now, I understand if it's a more modern movie, no spoilers, but come on, 40 years ago, you had plenty of time to check it out. All right, so tell us about your first 9 to 5, your first job. You can put it in a voice note that you can record on your phone. Keep it at around a minute. Introduce yourself, as always, and tell us about your first job. And you can send it to my email address, which is aalonso@grupovon.com. Again, it's aalonso@grupovon.com. And speaking of grupovon.com, guys, you still have some time to take advantage of these amazing offers we've got. If you're thinking about doing our master's program, which I highly recommend if you want to master the language, llegar a dominar, right? If you want to master the language, then I highly recommend it. You can get it at a €600 discount. I mean, we're talking about some serious cash here. That is a nice chunk of change. Yeah, that's another way to say it. A nice chunk of change means, wow, that's a chunk of pasta, mucha pasta. That's a nice chunk of change, €600 off the Von Master. But you only have until the 30th of November, 2025. That's right, the 30th of November, 2025. So jump on it. Do it before it runs out. Antes de que se acabe el tiempo. Also, you've got something, and this is only until the 16th of November. So you've got to really rush. You can say to rush or to hurry up if you want to take advantage of our 30% discount on our cursos intensivos de inglés por semanas, which I highly recommend as well. You can do those via video conference as well, which I think is nice. It works well. In fact, most of my classes I do via video conference. Why? Well, it's easier for everybody involved. It's easier for my students because I can meet them on a Saturday morning in our pajamas having a cup of coffee. Before you start your day, you get your dose of English. It's a very comfortable way to learn English. And you know what? You should be comfortable when you're learning, right? If you're not comfortable in the classroom, if it's too hot, if you don't like the teacher, well, then it's going to distract away from why you're there. But if you're comfortable, well, let the learning begin. You don't have any other distractions. You put on your favorite PJs. Well, you have them on if it's a morning class. You don't even have to wear pants. Now, I wouldn't recommend that. Wear pants, but you don't have to, right? Because normally, if you're on a video conference, they can only see your shoulders, right? It's a shoulder shot. All right, so check it out. Let me share the link with you. Again, a €600 discount if you sign up for our master's program, but you only have until November 30th, 2025, and you have until November 16th if you'd like to get a 30% discount on our cursos intensivos de inglés por semanas. All right, let me give you today's Say What soundbite. As always, I want you guys to listen carefully and see what you can extract from this audio. You'll have 4 chances to jot it all down, word for word. But initially, I just want you to tell me what you heard in your best English. Here it is.
It got me a long time ago. You knew this would happen, Winston. Don't deceive yourself. You've always known it. You must love him. It's not enough to obey him.
Alberto, estoy leyendo un cómic y me estoy dando cuenta de que todas las onomatopeyas que salen son verbos en inglés.
Of course, man. We love making it easy.
Por ejemplo, aquí pone chomp y está un animal masticando.
Sure, to chomp.
Es mascar, ¿no?
Sí, mascar. Y lo haces con tus piños. You're chompers.
Ah, chompers es los piños grandotes, ¿no? Vale, y to click, por ejemplo.
To click. Well, to click is what you do on a computer. You click. Pinchar.
Perfecto, pinchas con el ratón. Claro, tiene sentido. To gulp.
Well, before I was gulping my soda. Gulp, 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 gulp.
Claro, estás tragando como un pato.
Eso es, no es lo mismo que sip.
Bien. To thump.
Thump. Don't thump your fist on the table. No des un pum, pum en la mesa.
De hecho, el conejito de Bambi se llamaba Thumper.
Eso es, todo tiene sentido en inglés.
Claro que sí, por eso hemos hecho el tercer libro de This Book is the Milk, que se llama This Book is the Shit. Este libro es la leche. Por Alberto Alonso
y Damián Moya.
Así da gusto aprender, y lo sabes.
And you know it. That's right, folks. You can pick up This Book is the Milk. This Book is the Shit. This Book is the Milk 2. English everywhere. Or you can also pick up English on the Go. Aprende Inglés viajando por el mundo. Those are my 5 books. But remember, there are a plethora of other amazing books that you can pick up over at grupovon.com. We have our website, but in the website, you'll find the online bookshop. And as you know, we always take a look at one of our materials in our pop quiz. Get up. Come on. Let's go, go, go. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Yeah. Let's go. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. That's right. Welcome to today's pop quiz. As always, we highlight one of the many amazing materials, and I don't call them books, as you know. I call them materials or resources because they're so much more than just books, like the one we're going to look at today, Inglés Gramática Fácil. It has 180 different lessons in English with audio. And that's really important, as you know, to be able to replicate what you've heard. It has around 4 hours of audio, 180 lessons, and you can pick it up for the modest price of $15.75. So it doesn't even reach 16 euros, 15 euros and 75 cents for 180 English lessons with audio. Now, once you get the book, it's in your hands, not just literally, está en tus manos el libro, but it's also in your hands. You can choose how much or how well you learn each lesson. As you guys know, if you look at a translation, don't just look at a translation. Realize that what you are looking at, in fact, is a structure. And you need to know that structure forwards, backwards, inside, and out. So don't just look at it on the surface. The same way when you hear a word, you can look at the word boss and say, bueno, es jefe. Okay, so how would you say mandón? Well, he's very bossy. Okay, how would you say mandar? To boss people around. See? So from that one word, you got the adjective, you got the verb, and you got the noun. And this way, when you look at words, they become more than just a one-dimensional black and white thing, and they become ideas that you can expand upon in your mind. And hopefully, with that, you will master the language, because you got to have the right mindset. We all know that. You've got to have the right mindset. Some people can go to a grocery store, as we said yesterday, and just walk around, do your shopping, and that's it. Or you can walk around and say, este producto se llama tal, es americano. A ver si aprendo algo del nombre de este producto. You can watch a series and say, ¿qué significaría el título de esta serie? ¿Y qué es? Right? So always, I'm doing it with my daughter, and I wish it on any of my students, which my daughter is one of my students. Curiosity. Ask questions. Never stop asking questions. And every time Lara asks me a question, we're watching a movie, she says, Daddy, what does that mean? And I answer her question, and then I say, thanks for asking. And she goes, oh, you're welcome, Daddy. So I even reward her curiosity, and I reward your curiosity as well. They say curiosity killed the cat. Poor cat. Poor cat. All right, so let's listen to this little excerpt from Inglés Gramática Fácil. As I said, 180 lessons you need to know if you consider yourself someone who is proficient in the language. And you don't just need to know it in theory. You need to know it so that it comes out of your mouth when you need to use it. That's what we talk about when we talk about mastering a language. No, bueno, me sé la teoría. Does that mean you can drive a car? Think about it with el teórico, your driving test and your written test. If you know all the rules, okay, that's wonderful. Now get behind the wheel and drive. Oh, that takes experience. That takes getting used to the stick shift, el cambio de marcha, all of that stuff. So you can, apply that to a language as well. So as always, listen carefully, because I will have a couple questions for you afterwards.
Day 20. Pasatiempo. Which cat is on the floor, the small one or the big one?
The small one is on the floor.
Which glass is on the big table, the full one or the empty one?
The empty one is on the big table.
Which dog is in the armchair, the grey one or the black one?
The grey one is in the armchair.
Which shoes are under the small table, the orange ones or the white ones?
The orange ones are under the small table.
Which chair is broken, the black one or the white one?
The white one is broken.
Which glass is full, the one on the small table or the one on the big table?
The one on the small table is full.
Which shoes are under the black chair, the white ones or the orange ones?
The white ones are under the black chair.
Which glass is on the small table, the full one or the empty one?
The full one is on the small table.
Which shoes are under the broken chair, the grey ones or the orange ones?
The grey ones are under the broken chair.
Which dog is under the big table, the black one or the grey one?
The black one is under the big table.
Day 26. How much, many, plus there. Listening challenge. Ask me if there's any water in that glass. Yes, there is. Ask me how much water there is in that glass.
How much water is there in that glass?
Ask me if there are any people in this building.
Are there any people in this building? Hey, you should be doing that.
Yes, there are. Ask me how many people there are in this building.
How many people are there in this building?
Ask me if there's any sugar in the tea.
Is there any sugar in the tea?
Yes, there is.
Oh, great.
Ask me how much sugar there is in the tea.
Oh, wow. How much sugar is there in the tea?
Day 41.
Okay.
Tell someone not to. Listening challenge. Tell them to take off their shoes.
Take off your shoes.
Tell him not to take them off.
Don't take them off.
Tell him not to go there too early.
Don't go there too early.
Tell them to wait for us.
Wait for us. Wait up.
Tell her not to call me at night.
Don't call me at night.
Day 28. Present continuous 2. Listening challenge. Ask me what she's watching.
What's she watching?
Ask me what he's reading.
What's he reading? What's he?
Ask me what I'm doing at the moment.
What are you doing at the moment? What are you doing?
Ask me what she's doing right now.
What's she doing right now?
Ask me what he's working on.
What's he working on? What's he working on?
Ask me what they're talking about.
What are they talking about?
Day 32.
Am I doing well?
To have. Interrogative.
Oh,
Listening challenge.
oh wow.
Ask me if I have a car.
Do you have a car?
Ask me if she has any money.
Does she have any money?
Ask me if my brother has any children.
Does your brother have any children?
Ask me if my parents have any grandchildren.
Do your parents have any grandchildren?
Ask me if Manchester has an airport.
Does Manchester have an airport?
Ask me if the flat has a big living room.
Does the flat have a big living room? First things first, how you machines doing? You good?
Yeah, we're good.
Good. Let's take a picture. Quick question. ¿Cómo se dice emocionar en inglés?
To emotionate.
No. Think of Michael Jackson. Una pista de audio. It's close to midnight. Something evil's lurking in the dark.
It's thriller.
That's right. So emocionar is to
Thrill.
Eso es. And this book is the shit will thrill you. It's thrilling.
Sí, señor. This book is the shit. El inglés que no sabías que sabías. 1000 nuevas palabras para tu colección. De la mano de Alberto Alonso.
Y Damián Moya.
Así da gusto aprender.
Now we're talking. All right, amigos, some really important, basic, but extremely important structures to master. And I hope you guys were playing along with me when Julia and when Richard Brown were asking you to ask them things. That's your cue, como decimos, es tu pie, tu entrada. All right, here's your challenge. Now, yesterday we looked at a double trouble. Today we're looking at another one. Why? Well, because they help you remember things if you associate them. And don't worry, we'll still look at our double trouble for today. But the first one is, me encanta, me chifla mi sofá de dos plazas. You have to use the same word twice. Hey, I know I just limited you, but you're going to love the name of this. So, me encanta o me chifla mi sofá de dos plazas. You have to use the same word twice. The next one, tengo muchos muebles en mi salón. Okay, number 2, tengo muchos muebles en mi salón. And number 3, ¿le importaría ponerme una copa de vino? ¿Le importaría ponerme una copa de vino? That is the third one. So number 1, me encanta Mi sofá de dos plazas. Okay, you have to use the same word twice. The second one, tengo muchos muebles en mi salón. And number 3, ¿le importaría ponerme una copa de vino? Folks, we're going to a quick commercial break. We'll be right back with much more Show With No Name. So, if I were you guys, I wouldn't even think of going anywhere. Stick around. Hey, amigos, welcome back. Welcome back. This is part 2 of today's Show With No Name. We've got a lot of stuff to cover in today's show. We look at music, movies, a little bit of history, some crazy news, some wacky news. Yeah, I'm not interested in, like, the news on TV. You want me to tell you? You want me to sum it up? It's all bad. Yeah. So no need to tune in there. It's all bad news. I remember it during the COVID fiasco. All of a sudden, I felt better when I turned off my TV and kept it off. For some reason, I was cured. Well, the mental part of it. And I always say that. I believe COVID did a lot more harm to people's brains, to their minds, than physically. Now, if you lost a loved one, okay, that's different. But I think a lot of people just never recovered mentally from it. So there's a lot to be said about that, about, what information you let come into your brain. You know, your mind, our minds are very fragile. Frágil, you say? We say fragile. Seguro que si ves la palabra dices, oh, I recognize that word. Pero no se pronuncia igual. It's fragile. Some people say fragile. Right? Fragile. All right, so we're talking about salon, muebles, and all that jazz in today's pop quiz. I see we've got some students participating already in our Say What soundbite and our pop quiz. Awesome. Awesome news, my amigos. Great to see you all so driven, so excited about learning English. As I always say, you guys inspire me. I know you think it's the other way around. Alberto, thank you. You inspire us. You give us energy. You cheer us on. Nos animas. Right back at you. Te lo devuelvo. You guys are like a drug, but no side effects. You don't give me a hangover the next day, like alcohol. All right, well, my amigos, let's kick things off with our Say What soundbite. We're going to listen to it now for the second time. Now, the thing about today's, and I'm sure you'll agree here, there isn't a lot of text, but it's not easy. It's not going to be an easy one, especially if we compare it to yesterday's Say What soundbite. But again, isn't it like life? Some days you're like, oh, that was pretty easy. And other days you're like, oh my God, it's still 4:00 and I have a lot of shit to do, right? So this is life. Some days it's easier, some days it's harder. But again, the harder it is here, the easier it's going to be when you're out there in the real world, listening to all different accents and all different situations. So here's your Say What soundbite for the second time.
It got me a long time ago. You knew this would happen, Winston. Don't deceive yourself. You've always known it. You must love him. It's not enough to obey him.
Hey, Damian, what's crack-a-lackin', buddy?
Hey, Alberto, I was planning to do some sports this week. What about playing baseball?
Ooh, baseball. I love it. But I'm not sure yet. Can we touch base next week?
Touch base. Estamos en contacto, ¿no? Hablamos en algún momento. Yeah, okay. Let's touch base. Okay, what about basketball? Do you want to play basketball?
Oh, man, I love basketball. It's one of my favorite sports. But I don't know if I can this weekend because I've already got plans. Oh, man, that's the way the ball bounces.
That's the way the ball bounces. Así están las cosas, ¿no? Así bota la pelota. Así bota la pelota. That's the way the ball bounces. I love that expression. Okay, what about tennis? Do you want to play tennis?
Well, I love tennis, but I'm not really a good player. If you don't mind playing with a novice, the ball's in your court, buddy.
La bola está en mi campo, ¿eh? La pelota está en mi tejado. All right. Do you want to play some soccer?
Sure, I'd love to play some soccer or football, as you call it. What time do we kick off?
Perfect. We're kicking off at 9. Are you available?
Sure, but I might have to play some golf before with some friends. It's par for the course.
It's par for the course. Es lo normal, ¿no? Es lo normalito, lo que se hace.
Mhm.
Okay, what about billiards? Do you like playing billiards?
Yeah, but right now I'm behind the 8 ball.
I'm behind the 8 ball. Estás detrás de la bola 8, como que llevas las de perder.
Yeah, wow, a lot of idiomatic expressions here.
Muy buenas expresiones. Si es que así da gusto aprender inglés con un profe como Alberto y un poquito de creatividad, tienes This Book is the Shit. El mejor libro para aprender inglés que te has echado a la cara in your life. Píllatelo, vas a disfrutar mogollón de dibujos para que lo aprendas todo fácil, con conexiones lógicas y divertidas. Es la manera más sencilla y más divertida de aprender inglés. No te la pierdas.
Damian, you're such a good sport. Te enrollas. You can pick up your copy of This Book is the Shit at
Vaughantienda.com.
It's the Shit. That's right, folks. This book is the shit, available at grupovon.com. Remember, we have offices located in Madrid, Barcelona, Bilbao, Vigo, Valladolid, Valencia, Santander, and Zaragoza. So if you're looking to learn some English or just want to get a free consultation, a free level test, stop by. Pásate. We'd love to meet you. In fact, the best way to introduce yourself is, hey, I'm a Von Radio listener. And then we'll know that you're in the know. Toma, double trouble. Sabremos que eres un enterado, que you know how we do things here. So introduce yourself. We'd love to meet you if you live in one of those amazing cities. Also, if you're not following us on social media, you can follow us on social media as well to find out about all the deals going on, events that we've got coming up, like our Von Radio Trivia Night. If you haven't marked your calendar, it is December 2nd, and it is hosted by the one and only, el mismísimo, Richard Vaughn, the man with the plan, my buddy, mi colega. That's right. I'm proud to call him my friend, my buddy, my mentor as well. Yeah, that's kind of cool that somebody can be your friend and your mentor, right? That's a great relationship there. And the beautiful thing is, I'm also friends with his daughter, and his granddaughters are friends with my daughter. You want to talk about extended family? It doesn't get more family-oriented than that. In fact, do you know who I'm spending Christmas Eve with? I'm spending it with Richard Vaughn and Andrea Vaughn and Rob Grams as well. We're going to be spending Christmas Eve, el 24, together because, well, my mother-in-law passed this summer, so it's going to be a weird Christmas. You know, there's always a void un hueco, un vacío, a void when there's a loved one that passes on. So it's going to be a tough Christmas, but it's going to be a lot more bearable thanks to my friends. I get by with a little help from my friends. I'm gonna try with a little help from my friends. I get high with a little help from my friends. Well, no, we don't get high. No nos colocamos. Pero bueno, así va la letra. We might have a couple drinks, but I don't think anyone's going to be getting high. And that would be funny, being high around Richard Vaughn. Hey, Alberto. And I'm like, because I don't know about you guys, but I can't even speak when I'm under the influence and of anything. Even if I have like 2 or 3 beers now, I start to slur my words. I'm a lightweight. Tengo poco aguante. All right, let's take a look. We've got some heavyweights with us here, some real heavyweights. We've got Chris Valrol, and in this corner, weighing in at, I don't know how many kilos, I won't say, well, like the boxing ring. In this corner, weighing in at 120 kilos, it is the master of disaster. I love those. I used to love, one of my favorite things was watching, not the boxing match. I'm not into boxing, but the announcer. Oh, man. I was like, this guy's brilliant. So there's Chris Valrol, speaking of brilliant, and she says, morning show with no-namers of the world. Hello, Chris, and welcome aboard. Chris says, I think I heard an American man. She's talking about our Say What soundbite, to put it in context. And she says, I think I heard an American man whose diction I could barely make out. Wow, there's a totally native. Captar, descifrar, to make out. I can't make out what he said. Excellent. Chris, you sounded native there. She says, it sounds like he's almost whispering to someone. Long time, you knew, years old, always. Oh, okay, this is some of the stuff you got from there. Let me see if it says any of that stuff in there. Long time, it does say, yep. You knew, well, it says you've always known it. Okay, so yeah. And years old, no, I don't see years old over here. So you got most of it there, okay? And she says, so I don't have the gist of it, or I didn't get the gist of it. Don't worry, Chris, and all of you, do the best you can. That's all you can do in life, right? Not just in your English class. There's Born to Iron Man, our spelling bee champion. Speaking of more heavyweights, and I'm not talking about your weight here, obviously, guys. I'm talking about how well you do in my class every day. And he says, morning, friends. Morning to you, too. Let's see. Soledad says, I love my double bed. Yeah, but that's not sofá. And that's not a double trouble. So, okay, decent effort, but a double bed is different than a sofa that has 2 spots on it, right? Where 2 people can sit. Y no hemos duplicado ninguna palabra. All right, let's see. Chris Valrol is taking a stab at it. And she says, I love my love seat. Yes. We call it a love seat. Bueno, ¿por qué? Porque caben 2. Well, what if you want a ménage à trois? Well, that's then you need, I don't know what to say there. I'm talking about traditional relationships here. So I love my love seat. It's a good way to remember it. We call it a love seat. Okay. And just be careful. You guys say sofá, we say sofa. O sea, el acento va en la O, no en la A en inglés. And I've heard a lot of people mispronounce couch and say coach. Coach is Xabi Alonso. He is the coach of Real Madrid. And when he watches other games that aren't Real Madrid games, he watches them from his couch. Okay, desde su sofá. So I love my love seat. Excellent job, Chris Valrol. The next one, she says, I have a lot of furniture in my living room. No caíste, porque muebles ¿Te acuerdas ayer? Vimos algunos que son plurales en español o singular en inglés o viceversa. It's a perfect example. Muebles is always, we don't say furnitures. That word doesn't exist. The same way we don't say pajama, we say pajamas, as we saw yesterday. So here's another example of where we disagree. You say it one way, we say it another way, but I didn't fool you, Chris. She says, I have a lot of furniture in my living room. Excellent job. Living room, you can call it also a den. And I believe the word den is guarida. Am I saying that word right in Spanish? Let's take a look. Den. Yeah, guarida, cubil, madriguera. Piénsalo. That's where you hang out. Your den, your living room. All right. Very good. Very good. Let's see. And the last one. Would you mind pouring me a glass of wine? Yes. Two things that I was looking for there. The mistake is a lot of people say, would you mind to? And it's not would you mind to. Te importaría es would you mind más gerundio. Piénsalo como, think of it like mathematical equations, right? Would you mind plus ing equals te importaría, right? Would you like to? Ese sí que usa el infinitivo, pero es te gustaría. So I think what happens is people mix them up a bit, but not Grace. She said, would you mind pouring me a glass of wine? Excellent. And that second part, well, I've heard people say a cup of wine. Okay, people would understand you. But we usually say a glass of wine. And we don't say a wine glass. Why? Because a wine glass means the empty one. Could you give me a wine glass? Yeah, sure, if you want. Here you go. There's no wine in it, though. So a glass of wine has wine in it. A wine glass is an empty one. A bottle of wine has wine in it. A wine bottle doesn't have to have wine in it. So same rule applies to both there. Excellent job. And copas, how do we say se tomó unas copas? You can say he had some drinks or he had some cocktails, right? But we don't say cups in that case either. All right, Chris, knocking it out of the park. Soledad says, I have many furniture in my living room. Es incontable, aunque yo sé que se puede contar, pero en inglés es incontable. Sería I have a lot of furniture. Lo bueno es que no has puesto furnitures con ese. So good job there. But I have a lot of furniture in my living room. And the last one, she said, would you mind pouring me a glass of wine? Excellent there. The last one is perfect. Soledad. All right. Born to Iron Man says, I love my love seat. I love my love seat. Good job, buddy. The next one. I have a lot of furniture in my lounge. Lounge. Yeah. Okay. This is Británico. Okay. I see. Salon. Okay. I didn't know this one. See, because in the United States, it's correct, by the way, but I just wanted to check. In the United States, if we talk about a lounge, we talk about a bar that's comfortable, right? Or at an airport, you know, if you have access to the VIP lounge, right? And the verb to lounge tiene todo el sentido del mundo. Vaguear, right? Gandulear. He was lounging around in the lounge, en la sala de espera, o estancia. I've never heard that. Bar, cafeteria, o estancia. But yeah, it's like a comfortable. It has the feeling of a place where you can lounge. And you know what a lounge chair is? Una tumbona. Speaking of furniture, a lounge chair. Why? Because you can lounge around drinking pina coladas, getting caught in the rain. So I love my love seat. I have a lot of furniture I'm going to say it's British. I have a lot of furniture in my lounge. And the last one, would you mind serving me a glass of wine? Excellent. Wonderful job to all of you show with no namers. Knocking it out of the park in today's pop quiz. And I know the Say What soundbite is quite challenging. But again, this isn't about perfection. Life is not about perfection. Life is about doing the best you can with what you've got. And it's not the same one day to the next day, is it? Some days your best is a little bit less, and some days your best is just over the moon. It's wow, I can't believe I did it so well. Right? And other days you're like, no matter what I do, it's just not coming out today. And again, this is not just in language. This is, just having a day where nothing seems to work out. And other days where it's like, wow, I got through that day and it seemed like it was a breeze. All right, amigos, it's time to move on to today's news report.
This is the news report on the show with no name, bringing you the latest breaking news. I'm Alberto Alonso, reporting live.
All right, my amigos, it is our news report here, and I call this story Fork It Over. Hey, we're talking about furniture. Why not talk about silverware, too? Fork, spoon, knife, spork. You know what a spork is? It's a spoon and a fork. Sometimes they give it to you on the airlines, right? And we're going to be talking about airlines today. Well, fork over means soltar. Fork it over. Suéltalo. No? We talk about money or anything. You owe me money. Fork it over, buddy. To fork over. All right, well, this story takes us up to the sky. Vamos al cielo. A Lufthansa flight from Chicago to Germany was diverted. No, that's not divertido. That means sent to a different airport. Okay? So it was sent to a different airport. It was diverted to Boston Airport after a man stabbed 2 teenage passengers with a metal fork. Are you kidding me? Well, first, I thought they stopped using metal forks. How? I remember there was a time, especially after September 11th, where they're like, you know what? Metal forks and knives. Yeah, there are too many crazy people, sadly, who don't know that these utensils are used for eating, not as a weapon, right? So, yeah, this guy thought it would be a good idea to stab 2 teenage passengers with a metal fork. This guy named Praneeth Kumar Ursipalli, an Indian guy. Okay, we'll call him Praneeth. It'll be easier. Praneeth, his first name. 28-year-old guy. You would think he'd know better. No stabbing, no shooting, no violence, right? Well, no. This guy was charged with 1 count of assault with a deadly weapon with intent to do bodily harm. Now, what happened was he was immediately arrested. Yeah, don't fuck around on a plane. If you like to fuck around in general, that's great. I like to fuck around. Don't ever do it on a plane. It's not a good idea. The cards are stacked against you, right? Tienes todo que perder ahí, okay? And you will be arrested, okay? And he was arrested as soon as the plane landed at Boston's Logan International Airport. And basically, a 17-year-old passenger was sound asleep. We all know how hard it is to sleep on a plane. And the person woke up to see this guy, Praneeth, standing over him with a fork. And he lunged, to lunge es lanzarse, he lunged at the passenger and he struck, viene del verbo to strike, pegar, dar, right? And he struck his left clavicle. Clavicula, you say? Clavicle. And then he decided it would be a good idea to stab another 17-year-old. I don't know what he has against teenagers or 17-year-olds to be specific. But the second person was stabbed in the back of the head. So it sounds like this guy is a backstabber, un Judas. Yeah, and the second passenger had a laceration due to this attack. So the flight crew subdued this crazy passenger To subdue is to get them under control, right? To tranquilizar, contener, reprimir, dominar. Yeah, to overpower somebody, right? To subdue. It's one word. Subdue. Okay? And when they tried to subdue him, he formed a gun with his fingers. Very mature. And he put it in his mouth and he pulled the trigger. Probably the best thing that could have happened, right? And then he decided it would be a good idea to assault another passenger when he slapped her. Un guantazo, tal como suena. Slap. Yeah. And then he tried to slap a member of the flight crew. This guy is not too bright. He didn't wake up that day with too many good ideas. Well, either way, he was in the United States on a student visa, un visado, and you can imagine he will be losing that student visa, and he will be seeing jail time. But man, what on earth? What kind of drugs can you be on, or what kind of crazy mind can you have to think that that is okay? It's okay to do that to somebody. I mean, I wouldn't even touch somebody, never mind assault them with a fork or slap them. Well, I guess that's why not everybody is sane. Cuerdo. Cuerda? How do you say that? Sane. Insane is crazy. Sane, not crazy. That's as easy as I can explain it. Folks, we'll be right back with the second half of today's show, so stick around. Yeah, welcome back. Welcome back to the second half of today's show with No Name. Don't forget to stay tuned after today's show, and you can learn to speak with confidence with Ale. You've also got the lunchtime show with Rob Grams. You've got Speak English with Ruby. Also, Let's Get Random with Jules Linares. What a sweet voice she has. Well, all of them. Well, I mean the girls. No offense, guys. I love you, but I would describe your voices with another adjective, not sweet. But that's the wonderful thing about Vaughn Radio. You got a little bit of everything, all different accents, all different perspectives, but we've all got one thing in common. We came here to get you psyched about English, to make sure that you approach English the right way. Lo enfocas de la manera correcta, con ganas, right? With a little bit of oomph, as we say, some energy, some pizzazz, un poco de arte. Why not? You're going to do it right. All right, folks, in this part of the show, we're going to take a look at our homophones. We've got our Say What soundbite for the third time. We've also got wacky world records. And our most challenging section, usually, our spelling bee. It is not for the faint of heart. No es apto para cardíacos. And I overstate things a lot. Y yo exagero mucho. Well, I'm an American. That's what we do. That's our thing. All right, my amigos, let's kick things off with our first challenge. It is today's homophones on the show with no name.
Homophones on the show with no name. It's homophones time, cause homophones rhyme. They sound the same on the show with no name. The show with no name. Homophones on the show with no name. Cause homophones time, it's homophones rhyme. They sound the same on the show with no name. The show with no name. The show with no name. The show with no name.
That's right, my amigos. We're going to take a look at two words right now. The first word is parecer. Parece que estás cansado. Parece, right? So it's not look, it's the other parecer, por todos los aspectos. O sea, puede ser por tu aspecto físico, puede ser por tu voz, right? Parece, okay? Parece, parecer, okay? So I know you know the word. It's a word you need to know, right? But it's parecer o parecer estar, parecer ser. So you can use it in either way with ser o estar, which, as you know in English, is just one verb. You split it into two. All right. So the first one is parecer. Okay. The second word is costura o unión. Okay. Hey, we looked at the word stitches before. To be in stitches es partirse de la risa. But also a stitch is donde está cosido. So, la costura, unión. Okay. Also, let's see. Well, it's got other meanings, but we've got to play with the word a little bit here. Okay. So I'll let you know the other meanings. Like we've got a couple expressions with that second word and also a very useful adjective with that second word. The first word is como parece. All right. Lo he hecho aposta. As it. All right. So the first word is parecer. No solo físico, pues engloba todo el parecer, ¿no? Parece tal. Te he oído hablar y parece que estás tal. ¿Ok? Es una palabra muy amplia. Vale para muchas cosas. ¿Ok? And the second one is costura. ¿Ok? It's the place where the stitches are, where it's been sewn. right? Your shirt or something like that, or your pants. But as I said, there's a couple other uses of it that we will take a look at. So A, are you familiar with the words? B, do they sound exactly the same or not? All right, let me also give you our Say What soundbite. Here it is for the third time. Good luck. I know it's tough. Do your best.
They got me a long time ago. You knew this would happen, Winston. Don't deceive yourself. You've always known it. You must love him. It's not enough to obey him.
Listen carefully. Can you hear that? No. Listen closer. I'm not talking about the birds chirping. I'm talking about everybody speaking English and feeling comfortable. Listen. This is what it's like at Vaughntown, a peaceful place where you can really learn English and lose your inhibitions. There's a reason it's one of our star programs. Vaughntown, lose your fear of speaking English. If you want more information about this immersive experience, go to grupovon.com or give us a call, 911-385831. Lose your fear of speaking English and express yourself with clarity at Vaughntown. That's right, folks. Vaughntown. You can get more information about Vaughntown at grupovon.com. Also, if you just want some more information, feel free to reach out, contactar. You can reach us via our website. You've got a contact us section like all websites do. You can also send us a private message or a direct message on Instagram, Facebook, and all the other platforms that Vaughn may use. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, they're on every every platform, including LinkedIn, which we all know is not pronounced LinkedIn, right? Now, I know if you're talking to a Spanish person, you can't say, te busco en LinkedIn, porque te van a decir, oh, mira este pijo, LinkedIn. Tienes que decirlo mal para que no se ríen de ti. I get it. You got to say Wi-Fi, because if you say Wi-Fi, they're going to laugh at you. And that's part of the problem here. Nobody encourages anyone to speak English right. In fact, they laugh at you. In Spain, there's this rule, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. Si lo dices bien, look at this guy, who does he think he is? Y si lo dices mal, they're like, mira este capullo, no sabe inglés. So you can't win. You can't win. So that's the good news. Don't even try. Just do it the way that makes you feel comfortable, the way that makes you feel good. All right, let's take a look over here. Chris Valrol says, this guy from your news story wasn't the sharpest tool or knife. Ah, nice play on words there. The expression is, he isn't the sharpest tool in the shed, right? No es la herramienta más afilada del cobertizo. Is that how you say it? A shed. It's a place where you store tools and your lawnmower. We also say, uno de mis favoritos is, he was a few fries short of a Happy Meal. O sea, le quedaban unas patatas fritas para hacer un Happy Meal completo, right? Or you say the same thing. He has some screws loose, right? He's screwy. Está loquísimo. Great expression there. All right, let's see. Born to Iron Man is giving us the correct words in our homophone section. Great job. And he says they sound alike. All right, Chris Valrol, she gives us the same words and she agrees with her amigo Born to Iron Man. All right, let's say the two words together. Okay, you seem like, I'm trying to think of a good way. Okay, you seem like you saw my seam. Okay, mi costura. It's a stupid sentence, but I want you to hear the two words together. You seem like you've seen my seam. Do they sound the same? Yes, they do. But be careful. The thing you put in your phone is not un SIM, not in English. How do you say SIM in inglés? Lo que pones en el móvil. Your SIM, right? So that's your SIM card. It doesn't sound like those other two words. All right, so the first word is pretty straightforward. No hay muchos rodeos. Parece. He seemed angry. Okay, lo único que diría es ten cuidado con el uso. Some people say, you seemed like angry. No. Apunta. You seem más adjetivo. Remember we said esto es formulaico al final. Lo que hay que hacer es aprender que salgan estas fórmulas, no solo en el papel, pero de nuestras bocas. So, you seem angry. He seems like an angry person. Okay? What's the difference? Seem va con un adjetivo después. Lo mismo que look or taste, right? Or feel. This tastes disgusting. This tastes like fish, right? So the thing that happens there is, of course, if we use like, we're comparing it to something. So we have to use a noun, un sustantivo, right? You got to use a noun there. And I've heard people mix them up. So just write an example. You seem angry. You seem like an angry person, right? This tastes lovely, adjetivo. This tastes like strawberries, right? This smells awful, terrible. This smells like fish, sustantivo. So si va con like, tiene que seguirle un sustantivo. Puede ir con adjetivo, pero necesitamos un sustantivo ahí, sí o sí. It's an irregular, not irregular, it's a regular verb. He seemed angry. I don't know what happened, but he seemed angry. All right? And the second word, seem, well, as I said, that's something that it's the place where your shirt is, or your pants is sewn, right? Donde se ha cosido. But we also have the expression to come apart at the seams. Now, if we're talking about clothing, que también puede ser, right? It's descoserse. Piénsalo, right? It's coming apart at the seams. But if we say it about a person, now how can that happen? I mean, we're not sewn together, right? So if I say this is coming apart at the seams, it can be a situation too. But if we use it for a person, it's desbordarse. It also says desmoronar. I don't know what happened to him, but ever since the divorce, he's been coming apart at the seams, or he came apart at the seams. Think about it. Se descosió, se desbordó, se desmoronó. Okay, I love that word, desmoronarse, because moron in English, moron is idiota. So I can't look at that word and not think of the word moron. So to come apart at the seams, write it down because it's one of the expressions that we'll get here. Also, as I said, there's an adjective, seamless. Now, si lo piensas, es sin costuras, ¿no? Es uniforme. But if something is seamless, that means it went well. There were no interruptions. Continuo, sin interrupciones, constante, right? Somebody took over for her during her maternity leave, and the transition was seamless. Okay, so we use that often when we talk about something that is constant, that there's, it's not difficult, it goes well without interruptions. All right, excellent job, my amigos. Excellent job. Excellent job. All right. Well, we've got a lot of stuff to cover. So let's move on to Wacky World Records.
Wacky World Records. These are the wackiest records in the whole wide world.
That's right, folks. Wacky world records here on the show with no name. All right, let's see what we've got. Soledad's got something to say over here. Let's see what Soledad has to say. What? Wait, what was that? All right, what? Hang on. Soledad says, in my country, when an English person or any other language mispronounce some words, we encourage them to keep talking. Well, that's the way it should be, right? In fact, find me a person in New York who pronounces perfectly. Everybody's got their own accent because everybody's from somewhere else. That's the way it should be. Of course, I agree with you. And what's your country? I'm curious. Because in Spain, I've seen it. And not just with language. If you're very successful, people say, oh, so I wonder what he did to get there. And if you are not successful, they're like, what a loser. Of course, I'm generalizing, but it's like in Spain, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. So just be. Actually, it makes things really easy because then you're like, well, I'm never going to get the approval of anyone. If I do well, it's because I must have gotten a favor from someone. And if I do badly, well, serves you right, you idiot, right? Guys, I've lived here long enough, and I used to come here when I was a kid every summer. And again, I'm generalizing, but and the same, somebody says, Matthew McConaughey. Dices, pues hoy vi una entrevista con Matthew McConaughey. Te van a mirar como, mira, este tío se cree inglés. And then if you say Matthew McConaughey, mira, no sabe ni decir McConaughey. So you can't win. Again, that makes life real easy because then you're not trying to win. You're just trying to do things your own way. But yeah, you should. Everybody has an accent. In my city, where I come from, you get in the taxi and the guy speaks to you like this. You go into the pizza place and the guy's like, hello, my friend, how are you? Right? So you're going to hear a million accents out there. But here, if you pronounce it well, you're laughed at. And if you pronounce it a little bit off, you're laughed at too. Again, it's a generalization. I know that doesn't apply to you guys. And she says, we can laugh a little bit, but at the end, we understand and it's cool. Well, I'm going to say the Americans are like that. The Brits are not. Again, these are generalizations. They're stereotypes, and I didn't make them up. So don't shoot the messenger here. But I've had British people be like, I'd say, I'd like a tomato, please. They're like, tomato? I'm sorry, I don't understand you. I'm like, shut the STFU. Shut the fuck up. You understand me. It's tomato. It's oh, no, it's tomato. Are you correcting a native speaker speaking English? Really? You got some balls, buddy. So sadly, there are some people out there who just, instead of doing their own thing, they'd rather nitpick and laugh at others. So I totally agree with you there, Soledad, to nitpick. Nitpick, great word. To nitpick is no. English conjugation, no. Please, word reference, do something right. Madre de Dios, with this. Nitpick, inglés a español. Thank you. Ser un tiquismiquis, encontrarle la quinta pata al gato. Encontrarle 3 pies al gato. Encontrarle el pelo al huevo en Argentina. So yeah, to be like, well, actually. And that's when you say, okay, let's not get caught up in semantics here. All right. But Soledad, as we say in English, I couldn't agree more. Let people be. Let people say things the way they want to be said. The important thing is that you are understood. All right, let's take a look at our wacky world record. Oh, there's that damn parrot again. ¿Cómo se pronuncia esa palabra? ¿Loro? Al loro, que no es parrot. It's parrot. Parrot. ¿Y zanahoria? Carrot. Vamos a decir esta frase. The parrot ate a carrot. Yo sé que es una O, pero no in inglés, right? The parrot ate a carrot. Well, today's wacky world record is the most items ID'd by a parrot in 3 minutes. I told you there was a record for everything. So ID'd is identified. Okay, it's another way of saying to identify. So the most items, no items, items identified by a parrot in 3 minutes. And this parrot, Apollo is his name. Apollo, a 4-year-old African gray parrot who belongs to Florida residents Dalton and Victoria Mason, was able to identify 12 objects presented to him by name in 3 minutes. Some of those objects that he ID'd were a book. So he goes, book, 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 book. A sock, a figurine of Super Mario's nemesis, Wario. You know, Wario, Super Mario's arch nemesis. So yeah, 12 different objects. I know some humans who couldn't identify 12 objects in 3 minutes. And this parrot is famous. Well, if you consider having a lot of followers on social media famous, well, then he is famous. In fact, more famous than most people I know. I have a lot of famous friends too, but I don't know any friends of mine. And I know people on TV, I know sports figures that have 2.8 million followers on TikTok. Well, this 4-year-old African gray parrot, Apollo, does. So if you want to check him out and his record of identifying 12 different objects in 3 minutes, so that's 4 objects per minute. That's pretty impressive for a parrot. All right, my amigos, that is your wacky world record of the day. It's time for our spelling bee.
Spelling bee. Spelling bee. Spelling bee. Spelling bee. Spelling bee.
All right, here we go. This is round 1. Hold on to your hats because I'm going to fly. The first word is WILLIAM space FRANKLIN. The second one is QUEEN apostrophe S space COLLEGE. The third one is RUTGERS space UNIVERSITY. The fourth one is HENRY space RUTGERS. The fifth one, NEW space BRUNSWICK. And the last one is SCARLET space KNIGHTS. Give me a second to catch my breath over here. My God. Oh, that was fast. And this is one that's quite personal to me. Today's spelling bee has something to do with my family. In fact, speaking of my mentors, I would say my mentor way before I met Richard Vaughn. All right. I can give you another 10, 20 seconds. I know it's not much time, but as you know, it's a race against the clock over here on the show with no name because we try and do a lot of things in a 2-hour period, right? We do a lot of sections. We look at a lot of different things. All right, let's see. The first one to participate, Born to Iron Man. Let's see how he did. The first one's right. The second one as well. Third, fourth, fifth. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up. Unbelievable speed. All right, here's round 2. The first one is WILLIAM space FRANKLIN. The second one is QUEEN apostrophe S space COLLEGE. The third one, RUTGERS space UNIVERSITY. The fourth one is HENRY space RUTGERS Gers. The fifth is NEW space BRUNSWICK. And the last one is SCARLET space KNIGHTS. Folks, we'll be right back with the rest of today's show, so stick around. Hey amigos, welcome back. Welcome back. This is part 4 of today's show with no name. I hope you guys are having fun, learning, and laughing with me. Don't forget, if you'd like to participate in our question of the week, you've only got a little bit of time left. A nice shout out to Nuria, Elena, Turani, Chris Valrol, Gloria, and Anix. Wow, lots of participation. And kudos to all of you who practice week after week. You can tell. Se nota. What can I say except you can tell? I know who's practicing and who's not. I can hear your progress, and I know you can feel your progress. And that's the greatest feeling in the world, isn't it? So kudos. Enhorabuena. Kudos to you. We're going to kick things off with our double trouble. And guess what? Today it's really a double trouble. We've also got our Say What soundbite, quite tricky today. The fourth listen of that. We'll check our spelling bee words. We've got Name That Movie. We've got jokes, famous birthday trivia, and Name That Lyric. And we've got 25 minutes to make it all work. So let's kick things off with today's double trouble. Yeah.
Double trouble, baby. Yeah, you know what time it is.
Come on.
Give it up.
Double trouble.
I said double trouble. Double trouble. I said double trouble.
All right, amigos. Now, this is one of those double troubles. You know, sometimes I say a double trouble on the show and I say, oh, that would be a great double trouble. Well, this is one of those. So, as Fitz's program is called, you have no excuses if you were paying attention. Si estabais al loro. Since we talked about parrots. Oh, okay. If you were paying attention, if you were on your toes, I said this recently, and it's because I saw a series, and well, that was the name of the series. So if you watch series, if you pay attention to this show, well, you might be able to figure this one out quite easily. Okay. Oh, wait, someone's knocking here. Wait. Yeah. Hello? Uh-huh. Who is it? Yeah, who is it? Uh-oh.
FBI, open up!
Oh, Jesus. I knew I shouldn't have taken the tag off that mattress. Oh, man. What a mistake. I knew I shouldn't have taken the tag off that. Sabía que no tenía que haber quitado la etiqueta de ese colchón. All right. So, here we go. Al cuerpo especial se le dio una tarea importante. All right. I said this one maybe 2 weeks ago. It wasn't I don't think it was last week. But recently, we looked at this one. Y yo aprendí en español esta palabra también. Cuerpo especial. And it's not special body. Tienes un cuerpo. Hey, that's a good joke in Spanish. Chica, tienes un cuerpo especial. Oh, really? ¿Dónde? Vienen a por mí. Hey, I'm playing with words in English and in Spanish, folks, and I hope you're doing the same. Al cuerpo especial se le dio una tarea importante. All right? There you go, my amigos. You have to use the same word twice. Hence the name, y por eso, hence the name Double Trouble. All right, let me also give you the Say What soundbite today. I know it's giving you trouble, but do the best you can. Here it is for the fourth and final time.
You got me a long time ago. You knew this would happen, Winston. Don't deceive yourself. You've always known it. You must love him. It's not enough to obey him.
¿Te gustaría abrir puertas a nuevas oportunidades y estar listo para cualquier desafío? Con el máster de inglés del Grupo Vaughan podrás transformar tu futuro. Este programa intensivo te ayudará a dominar el inglés profesional, perfeccionar tu comunicación y ganar la confianza que necesitas para conseguir tus objetivos. Nuestros profesores Vaughan especializados te prepararán para afrontar en inglés todas las situaciones de comunicación en un entorno profesional. No dejes que el inglés sea una barrera. Invierte en tu futuro con el máster de inglés profesional del Grupo Vaughan. Llámanos al 91-133-5833 o entra en grupovaughan.com.
That's right, folks. It's grupovon.com. You can find out about our masters. Just remember that right now you've got a €600 discount on our master's program. That is until November 30th, 2025. And again, I know something you can do with that money that you save after you've finished the course. As a reward and as a test, you can take your, well, I wouldn't say the family, not for 600. You can go by yourself for the weekend to an English-speaking country. I wouldn't recommend going to London because London is pretty expensive. But who knows? You could go to Ireland. Dublin's expensive too, but you could maybe take a Ryanair flight out to Cork. Hey, that's where Fitz is from. And, well, you could, of course, spend some time in a hostel. That's where you're going to get the real English as well. You'll be mingling with people, and you can even come back with some money, I think. Now, if you go to London, I don't even think you can get a hotel room for 2 nights for that price. But my point is, that's a nice discount. So if you have ever thought about taking our master's course, now's the time, but don't sleep on it. No lo consultes con la almohada because you only have until November 30th, 2025. I always say the year because, as you know, they repeat these programs sometimes on the weekend or, when we're on a break or something like that, or if I'm on holiday. I sound like a British person. I would normally say on vacation. But remember, I'm international now. I live in Europe, so I've got to be international with my English. All right, let's see. Born to Iron Man is taking a stab at today's double trouble. He says, an important task was given to the task force. Absolutely. Wow. Great job. Now, remember I told you I was watching a series called Task. And I remember my wife saying, well, why do they call it Task? Tarea. And I'm like, well, that's because he's working on a task force. She goes, what's a task force? I was like, good question. I explained it. I said, well, that's a group that's put together to deal with a certain task, right? They use it in the mafia. They use it, for many different things. And so a task force, I recommend it. It's a really good series. It's called Task. It's a crime drama. It stars Mark Ruffalo and Tom Pelphrey. I didn't know this actor, Tom Pelphrey, but I can tell you right now, I am a huge fan. Yeah. Tom Pelphrey. He was in Ozark. Oh, I didn't remember him in Ozark. That's another good series as well. He's really good, really talented. I think probably one of the best actors I've seen in a long time. Tom Pelphrey. The series is called Task because Mark Ruffalo's character starts a task force to go after some local criminals. Okay, so Cuerpo Especial, a task force. And they are given a task, or se puede usar como verbo. They are tasked with doing something. So they tasked, mira la estructura, porque es muy importante. They were tasked with eliminating the crime. Okay, eso es que se les dio la tarea. So dar una tarea is to task somebody with something. Otra vez, muy importante la estructura. They tasked him with going out and policing the streets. Okay, that's the structure. I'm sure you've heard of it too, because we talk about multitasking, intentando hacer muchas cosas a la vez, to multitask. So there you go, folks. You can learn from watching series. Excellent job. Born to Iron Man. I tasked you with figuring out today's double trouble, and you nailed it. I tasked you with it. So a task force, a special group that is given a task, a specific task to carry out. They are tasked with something, okay? And let's go on over to our spelling bee. We have got 2 winners. It's Born to Iron Man and Chris Valrol. Excellent job. The first word was William Franklin. Now, who was William Franklin? Good question. He was a colonial governor of New Jersey, okay? New Jersey. His name was William Franklin, okay? And today in 1766, 1766, he signed a charter, okay? Now, a charter, I looked this word up before, no lo sabía en español. A charter, acta constitutiva, okay? Escritura de constitución. So a charter says, I hereby state that this will become a university, a learning institution. And that's exactly what he did. He signed the charter of Queens College. Now, I know what you're thinking. Queens College. Well, I've never heard of a Queens College in New Jersey. Well, it's not called Queens College anymore. It was originally called Queens College when it received its charter today in 1766. But it was later renamed to one of the most reputable universities in the United States, Rutgers University. My grandpa graduated from Rutgers University. He studied pharmacy in Rutgers University. So, number one was William Franklin, the governor who signed the charter. Number two was Queens College, the original name. Number three, Rutgers University, which is still there with that name now. Number four, Henry Rutgers. That was the guy it was named after. Number five, New Brunswick. It's a town in New Jersey where Rutgers University is located. And number six was their sports team, the Scarlet Knights. And knights, I don't mean noches, I mean caballeros. And scarlet is a color, escarlata, rojo pasión. Oh, I didn't know that. Passion red. I like that. So excellent job in our spelling bee. All right, we are going to the movie. Name that movie. All right, let's take a look at today's Name That Movie. This movie is awesome, and the soundtrack, too. Here we go. This follows a young rapper in the Detroit area. Any clues already? Struggling with every aspect of his life. He wants to make it big, but his friends and foes make this odyssey of rap harder than it may seem. We looked at the word seem before. Parecer, right? Que suena como costura. Okay, so it follows a young rapper, un joven envoltorio. Well, si pones W delante es envoltorio, pero no, sino W, rapero, in the Detroit area, struggling, luchando, right? Struggling with every aspect of his life. He wants to make it big, but his friends and foes make this odyssey of rap, and a foe is another way of saying an enemy. F-O-E. They make this odyssey of rap harder than it may seem. You want a clue? You want another clue? Yo, his palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy. There's vomit on his sweater already. Mom's spaghetti. He's nervous, but on the surface, he looks calm and ready to drop bombs. But he keeps on forgetting what he wrote down. The whole crowd goes so loud. He opens his mouth, but the words won't come out. That song won a Grammy Award, and I believe even an Oscar, maybe? I get confused sometimes with all those award shows. All right, nobody. No, I thought this one was going to be easy. Detroit rapper. And once I gave you those lyrics, well, the movie is 8 Mile with Eminem. That's right. And Brittany Murphy as well. 8 Mile with Eminem and Brittany Murphy. It came out in the year 2002. And if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. It is a great movie. And it's about a struggle, really, about the struggles of trying to make it big. Triunfar, no? Tener éxito. Stephanie says in this scene, me and Greg are having problems. Sería Greg and I. Pero again, these are like laísmos, okay? Greg and I are having problems. And Rabbit says, he found out about the eviction. Se enteró sobre the eviction. The eviction es cuando te echan de tu casa. To get evicted means te echan, no has pagado, and you get kicked out of your home. So he found out about the eviction. A ver cómo lo traducen aquí. Eviction. Desahucio. Desalojo, mucho más fácil. Desalojo. Okay. So he found out about the eviction. And Stephanie said, nope, nope. And then Rabbit says, the settlement check ain't coming. No llega el talón, el dinero del acuerdo. Now, a settlement is when you don't go to trial. No ve un juicio. So a lot of times they say, Disney was sued by tal persona. No, le demandaron tal persona. But they settled. To settle es llegar a un acuerdo financiero antes. So the settlement es ese pago. And Stephanie says, no, it's coming. It's coming. It's our sex life. Es nuestra vida sexual. And now remember, he's talking to his mom and he's disgusted. He goes, Mom, I don't want to hear this shit. No quiero oír esta mierda. And Stephanie goes, no, but I mean, it's good. It's real good. He just doesn't like to. And he interrupts. He cuts her off and says, Mom, I don't want to hear this. And he says, Greg won't go down on me. Now, to go down on someone is fellatio or cunnilingus. Any AC/DC fans? Go down, go down, go down. All right, my amigos, that is from the movie 8 Mile. It's time for famous birthday trivia.
Famous birthdays for you. Famous birthdays for me. Famous birthdays for everyone on the show with no name. Famous birthdays for him. Famous birthdays for her. Famous birthdays for everyone on the show with no name.
All right, let's see who's celebrating a birthday today. First off, he was born today in 1978, an American DJ, songwriter, and producer. His real name, Thomas Wesley Pence. Never heard of him, right? Yeah, that's because he uses a stage name. Now, he's done it all. He's worked with Sia. I love Sia. She is awesome. He's worked with Skrillex, with MIA, Missing in Action. You know, MIA, all I want to do is boom, boom, and take your money. And Blackpink, and Gwen Stefani, and Britney Spears, and Madonna, and Shakira, and Beyonce, and The Weeknd, and Justin Bieber, and Snoop Dogg. So yeah, definitely a popular DJ and producer. Number 2, this actress was born today in 1977. And wow, we're the same age. I never realized that. She died in 2009 under strange circumstances, pneumonia, anemia. There's even a documentary about her death because it's a lot of, some people said that it was mold, in la pared. So very interesting. Well, she was in Clueless. She was in 8 Mile. Hey, today is named that movie. Girl Interrupted, Just Married, Happy Feet, and many, many more until she met her fate in 2009 and died extremely young. And last but not least, this person was born today in 1925, a Welsh Gales actor and singer. And he established himself as a Shakespearean actor in the 1950s. He gave a very memorable performance as Hamlet in 1964. They called him the natural successor to Laurence Olivier, right? And, well, he's been in so many movies. He was in My Cousin Rachel, Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, also The Spy Who Came In from the Cold, Camelot, also 1984, which is based on Orwell's novel. All right, number 1 is Diplo. That's his name, Diplo. I didn't know his real name, Thomas Wesley Pence, but I know I've seen this guy's name on many, many famous songs. Diplo. Number 2, Brittany Murphy, who we just mentioned. Very interesting documentary about her tragic end. And number 3, the classic actor Richard Burton. Not Barton, sino Burton. Or if you're Welsh, Richard Burton. And that is going to bring us over to our Say What soundbite. This is Richard Burton in the movie 1984. All right. And he says, they got me a long time ago. Me atraparon, me cogieron hace tiempo. They got me a long time ago. He says, you knew this would happen, Winston. Sabías que iba a pasar esto, Winston. He says, don't deceive yourself. To deceive is to lie. Don't lie to yourself. Don't deceive yourself. You've always known it. Lo has sabido desde siempre. He says, you must love them. Tienes que quererles, amarles. It's not enough to obey. No vale con solo acatar, you say, conseguir las reglas, to obey. So here's the master actor, Richard Burton, in the movie 1984.
They got me a long time ago. You knew this would happen, Winston. Don't deceive yourself. You've always known it. You must love him. It's not enough to obey him.
All right, my amigos, wonderful job. Excellent job in today's show, as always. I hope you learned. I hope you laughed a little bit. And, well, you've even got a couple suggestions for series that we looked at in our Double Trouble with the series Task, which is awesome. You've got some song suggestions as well. In fact, today's Name That Lyric is Diplo, Sia, and The Weeknd. Talk about 3 superstars in one song. The song is called Elastic Heart, and it's a beautiful song. It's a great video, too. It's got some ballet and some dancing in it. And beautiful song. I'm a huge Sia fan. In fact, when I discovered this song, I knew it was a Sia song because her voice is just, you'll know it in a second, right? When you hear her voice. But I had no idea The Weeknd and Diplo worked on it with her. So here's Elastic Heart by Sia, Diplo, and The Weeknd. Thank you so much, everybody. And we'll be back tomorrow with more. Ciao for now.
One bites of dust. Oh, why can I not conquer love?
I love her.